I
seconds
still want to see the
remaining.
Spectre. I feel like it'd be pretty damn effective here. You know, like
5
that combo
seconds
together
remaining.
with a global silence. Again, Spectre doesn't need to be with the rest of the team. You can just be farming away, use the Haunt, even just with that Aghanim Scepter can look to join in onto a Snapfire or a Clockwork, plus any kind of silence. You know, you'll likely look to go into something like an Orchid after that. I think would be pretty damn effective.
Is this for Polaris? Sorry, in particular?
Hmm. Well, for either team still, but I feel like now is the opportunity for Polaris to pick it up. Just because you don't want to be facing up against it as a silencer. Like you just it's next to impossible, your gameplay.
They don't have any heroes that are able to get out of cogs at the moment. So drafting a lineup that has 3, 4, 5 heroes that are really trapped in cogs and make it very awkward for you to play fights. I think that's something Polaris kind of have to keep in the back of the mind with whatever hero they pick up. You're lacking a front line. They got a little bit of team fight at the moment, just a melee hero, someone who can take objectives as well, which you're more than likely going to get in your position 1.
I think they could even just go for a Darkseer here on OB.Neon.
Radiant team pick. Templar
TA
Assassin.
instead, huh?
Beastmaster.
Well,
Okay.
provides them push, provides them vision, which is going to be very effective at protecting this TA when she's looking to farm super early on. I think that's where we'll see the majority of the Hawks go out,
10
like on
seconds remaining.
the dire side of the map, just to spot them out when they're looking to go for
5
these
seconds
smoke
remaining.
plays.
Phantom
Okay, so they're just not going to consider the Spectre at all. I mean, it's a good PL game. You just be able to get out of the damage over time that the Beastmaster boars are able to put out. A lot of instances to be able to get through the refraction, not really caring all that much about the silencer as well
10 seconds
in terms
remaining.
of his arcane curse. So yeah, it's a good PL pick.
5
I'd say it's a
seconds
free
remaining.
PL game off the looks of it. The PL games that I have been seeing so far, though, it really feels like, yeah, it could be free, but can you 5v1? That's the question. It feels like the hero really isn't at that stage at the moment, but I feel like he's got a really nice, team
Dire
behind
team
him.
ban.
So I'm looking to see how they look to flex the Dawnbreaker now. What are your thoughts
I'm
on...
happy. I'm
Radiant
happy with the
team
Darkseer ban from Polaris. I was really thinking that would have been a nice, solid way for them to be able to round out this draft, just because it pairs together well with the Clockwork.
Dire
It
team
would have
ban.
meant that you've just got that extra layer of team fight for the Mortimer's Kisses, for the Dawnbreaker. It would have been able to buff up the Dawnbreaker as well, who oftentimes wants to be the one going a little bit more on the deep side. So, yeah, just looking to ban out some of the main PL counters. The Leshrac is going out of there. Anything else that's going to be able to build
Radiant
into
team pick.
something like a Maelstrom, or just deals a ton of magic damage naturally, like the Storm Spirit. Ember Spirit's gone. Position 1s. Could be a Sven game.
10 seconds remaining.
Is there any capability for them to flex the TA? Like, how do you
5
think this
seconds
matchup would be
remaining.
if it's against a Dawnbreaker mid?
It wouldn't be terrible. I mean, Dawnbreaker has alright armor to be able to start the game. The downside is that Celestial Hammer does provide that damage over time, so you're going to be able to break the refraction charges and look to trade effectively. Again, it's a strength hero into a relatively squishier, agi one outside of the meld, so I feel like it's not a bad matchup for the Dawnbreaker for sure. You can just look to bully as well as just having the Luminosity, right, for your sustain in the lane.
Not many heroes left, though, that can offer a counter to the Phantom Lancer. I mean, you've got kind of the
Dire team
late game
pick.
condition in TA. So yeah, they will go for the puck here. Gives you some way to be able to make plays.
Good clear for the PL illusions for sure. Something that's, again, not going to be permanently locked down by the Clockwork. I mean, but Beastmaster, he doesn't want to build into a 4-staff. TA
seconds
doesn't really
remaining.
want to until it's like a Hurricane Pike. Silencer will, but it'll be a
5
while until he
seconds
gets to that point, and Lion, again, doesn't really want to build into a 4-staff. So we'll see how good they are at being able to counter out this Clockwork. I feel like that's going to be the main factor of this game. How well does the Dawnbreaker lane go, and how effective are the first few Clockwork rotations until about the 15 or so minute mark?
I wouldn't mind seeing a Dragonite for Neon. I think big issues with Phantom Lancer is that you're unable to take objectives, and I do not believe a Dawnbreaker is going to provide you any extra ways to do that as well. Traditionally, one of the greatest counters versus the puck. Pretty good armor to deal with TA. They go for just a specialty. I mean, it's a Mamang Dire Conquer. Matchup versus puck's really solid. You've got very low armor in the lane, so the Tidebringer can do a lot. Torrent, you know, a little bit of damage over time to deal with refraction. It's honestly, I like it. I think there's still issues with how they can take towers on Neon, so they're really going to have to rely on getting a lot of kills and transitioning that into objectives and playing off the catapult timings. That's kind of the one weakness I see with their draft.
I'm not sure how strongly I feel about the fact that it's a UK clockwork instead of a hustler clockwork, just because I feel like you're going to need this Snapfire to be able to assist with taking out of the boars in the lane. Like it's not going to stop the Phantom Lancer, sure, from farming, but it's just so much experience that you're letting slide by the wayside by not having this Snapfire in the lane, instead just using the Scatterblast to clear them out.
Yeah, now you're forcing Palos to bring up maybe a little bit of extra mana regen just to use Spirit Lance to secure range creeps, because you don't have the Snapfire, of course. I mean, maybe UK can drag the Silencer like out of the lane and just have like 1v1s, and Palos could be okay with that. But I'm always a fan, like whenever a Beastmaster's, whenever you're versing a Beastmaster, I want to have a lane that can kill boars. It's so much gold, so much experience.
Yeah.
And it
might look to put a few more points into the Rocket Flare, but that'll be once the laning stage is basically done, so...
Well, how we feel about this? Do we believe Neon are able to take the series in 2-0 and continue with their dominant start so far with the new roster?
Well, I haven't seen too much of Enryu Dawnbreaker, so that's one of the key question marks for mine. Like, how effectively is he going to play it? Is it going to be something that he excels at, or is it going to be something that, unfortunately, they get found out, and it really does feel like it's... Even though it is a flex pick in general, if only Mamang Dire can actually play it on the team, then it's kind of takes away that layer of flexibility. Boomy, if he's not too careful here... Oh, actually, the smoke pops there on UK, so he's going to be able to spot out. But instantly able to get the D-ward off, so... Good movement coming through from OB.Neon to be able to start this one out. They've got a strong level 1 lineup, that's for sure.
Oh no, not Boomo.
Not the weakest level 1 in the game.
30 seconds to battle.
Wait. My dude's chilling. Alright, space created. What do you reckon they'd use him with that space?
Space to not die. What's clockwork? I mean, he had the rocket flare. Might have been able to kill him if he shot it straight away, but I'm liking these this warding game though from Neon. That's one of the other things that I've really seen improve over recent times.
The battle begins.
Obviously, we've got Chuan as their recent coach. I'm sure he's looking to stamp his foot down and implement a few things that are his own.
So, wait, did you give a prediction?
I didn't. I said it's going to depend on how Enryu performs, basically, on this Dawnbreaker, and whether the Clockwork's able to get some rotations happening. Again, still not a big fan of Clockwork paired together with the PL. I still feel like it is that free PL game, though. Maybe not so much against the puck.
I mean, maybe they feel with Snapfire and Dawnbreaker together against the double range, they can utilize their repositioning just to get a lot of kills and pressure Natsumi.
Yeah.
Like, I think Radiant have to really steamroll this game, get an early first Roshan, utilize the vision and the jump, just get pick-off after pick-off and then come online before PL. But if Neon even have a net worth lead, even if it's 1,000 by 20 minutes in, I'd favor them well and truly. I think they have good matchups heading into the late game, but they could be ran over.
I mean, they have good laning matchups in general, right? Like, the Silence is going to be able to do nothing against the PL. You could just see he used the last word to try and force out something from... I mean, at least it forced him to go into the Doppelganger level 1, which isn't always ideal, but still.
They do have at least...
Oh. That's interesting by Palace. I mean, he just tanked up the last word. Boomy used the Arcane Curse right at the end of it as well, just expecting him to use the Doppelganger. Didn't end up doing it, and so he's already taken a fair amount of harass in this lane, down to 1 Tango.
Maybe UK was recognizing that this is going to be a lane where you just have to trade resources. He's come out with 5 Tangos and a Salve, so a lot of regen for Palos. And it looks like they're playing off pulls as well. We saw UK just previously trying to keep the creep equilibrium under the tower. See if that's going to continue on, which it will mean that it's going to give Nico a great timing the Helm of the Dominator. But
it will for sure. I mean, there aren't too many better heroes super early on than a Clockwork to be able to bully in the lane. So every single time they see that last word Arcane Curse combo used, and if there's no boar available as well, I feel like UK needs to be getting super aggressive and up in the face of this silencer, doing his best to actually trade that farm effectively.
Mumeng Dai at the moment looks like his mid lane is going pretty even. I mean, 3 extra last hits and denies as well.
CML was a little low on the bot side. They didn't land the Fire Snap cookie onto him, otherwise that would have been the first blood. Natsumi, he's actually looking to chase Enryu a little bit here. Doesn't have the Celestial Hammer though to be able to stop him.
Which makes me appreciate it all the more.
I wonder if they can make a jump shortly with the level 3s that are about to come out.
And it's so painful playing this lane as
Pac
Mackie's
made more
getting
mid,
on a
actually,
little
yeah.
bit here, yeah.
Tidebringer's still on cooldown. Faith Shift about to come back up, so Mumeng Dai not going to find the angle, but you see, I mean, max tier on the Conker is goddamn comfortable on this hero.
Yeah, he was pump faking a little bit there, making sure to Puck use the phase shift, and then he was actually able to get the proper Tidebringer hit in. 2 armor on a Puck feels bad, man.
Does
but
indeed.
This hero was incredibly obnoxious as well, so feels good, man.
I mean, it's a game where they don't have the easiest way to connect on the puck. It's really just going to be off the back of, like, hook shot into Cogs pushback. Probably going to rely on Hustler to go, like, Blink Aghanim shot as well, which we've seen a little bit more different of an itemization for some of these position 4 Snapfires.
Walking around, they've been able to block up their own wave this time around. Sorry, their own camp, wanting to make sure that they are getting the complete laning position that they want, but Natsumi, he's doing a pretty good job on this bottom side. I mean, I thought that he might have a little bit more difficult, especially with that little shredder with the Celestial Hammer,
middle tower
and
is
start to
under
take a
attack.
bit more harass than he is.
Seeing as well, Boomy start to head back. They were able to get rid of the small camp pretty early on from Mac, and now Boomy will unblock the Ancients. So much emphasis on enabling the Templar Assassin, who's in trouble at the moment. He's gonna hide himself out in Mount. He'll actually look to turn on Hustler. We're still waiting for our first blood, and this might be time for us to find it. The tower attribute's not enough to keep Hustler alive. Another turret to potentially clean off Enryu. The meld coming up shortly. Natsumi with this bonus damage, just not enough to get the kill.
I think he actually missed that meld, the second one there. He didn't get the actual right-click damage off. There wasn't the minus armor on Enryu to be able to take him down. So a small misplay there for Natsumi, but, I mean, you could kind of afford it if you're able to get the first blood essentially solo.
Mumeng Dai, he's hit up the level 6 now as well. I want to see when he tries to make a rotation. I think more than likely he'll TP top when Radiant get aggressive on the tower. It'll be Palos, not to get the kill on Boomy. Now he's used the doppelganger. They found the real Phantom Lancer. Gonna play around with the 1 charges, but Nico, the slow, thanks to the ball level 2, is enough to get the kill at the last second.
And it's definitely not the PL that you want to be in there on the front lines. Use your illusions to do the majority of the work, and that was the boars really coming to the fore. You had 2 of them, full HP, not really taking any kind of damage, so they're free to just dish out a lot of this range damage, 35, then you've got your damage over time as well.
It is unfortunate that they lose Palos, but I think it's still important that they have kind of defeated this catapult timing here, so they're not going to end up losing that tower.
I guess
It
it's
can
wise to carry us.
be quite often when we see Beastmaster just get a kill by the catapult timing, then instantly take over the lane and do, you know, about half, maybe even take the tower at that timing.
Boomy looking to make sure Mumeng Dai doesn't secure that wave. Even, did he dodge that? He
think he
dodged the
might
Dream
have.
Pod with the illusion rune.
Oh, Mumeng Dai, you cheeky, cheeky devil.
I think he was just using it for the Arcane Curse Last Word combination, but we'll give it to him.
See if he's gonna head up top. Nico's still in the area.
Denied.
Playing a little bit solo here. Quite fast. This should be a dead Nico.
Yeah, I don't see how he gets out there. Even actually, they'll TP Hustler up. Maybe a little bit unnecessary with the Snapfire joining them. Okay. He's like, alright, I TP'd up, guys. You gotta let me get the kill at least.
Just a single right click, you know. That's the average Snapfire team fight contribution. As, well, overall, it's kind of going how we were expecting in that mid lane, and I mean, this is the big worry for mine. I've said it before in previous casts when it's played in different roles, particularly for the core, but if this Dawnbreaker doesn't have a very good start and a net worth lead, you can fall behind pretty damn quickly, and, well, he might be falling down one more time.
He's not going to get enough distance away. Natsumi and CML. Second kill down bottom. Natsumi's having a really good start here with the Templar Assassin. Simultaneously, though, Mamang Daya able to pick up his first kill of the game. Level 8 on the Conquer, top of the net worth. I mean, it really feels like... When do we ever not see Mamang Daya on top when he's playing the Conquer?
Very rarely. I mean, it's basically only when he's against other Conquer specialists that kind of know the little ins and outs, the extra tricks. Mamang Daya, speaking of him, he's a little bit deep here. He's got Hustler backing him up, but might still be in a bit of trouble with that last word popping.
I have to try and replace him with the cookie. Even Palace is going to try and disrupt the backline, but Mamang Daya will slowly be brought down. Roar is out.
I found the real PL.
PL, I mean, he committed into the fight. Doppel will give him a slight chance to make it back away. Puck doesn't jaunt fall, but I don't think it's going to matter as Boomy with the Arcane Curse. He needs one more right click and... Wow, they're not going to find it. Palace just gets away. Simultaneously, I mean, Mac does get the kill on Hustler, so they're still getting some across the map.
Yeah, for sure. Just going a little bit deep there on Mamang Daya. Again, it feels like that's always the case with him. He has a fantastic laning stage, and there's just one or two rotations that he makes on his own that, you know, probably shouldn't be happening. Playing around the rest of his team feels like he's next to unstoppable, but it's just maybe building the faith up, especially in a new team.
They're going to run into Nico once again. Mamang Daya dropping the combination. He's putting a lot more emphasis on playing top, trying to enable Palos and the Phantom Lancer. They might even be able to find Boomo as well. Got CML nearby, that's not going to matter. I hear an ultimate from Enryu, but...
Just protecting UK on the clockwork from dying down to Mac there. I like the fact that they're focusing the Beastmaster, right? You mentioned before that they protected that 5-minute catapult wave. Always the thing that you want to try and be playing around with the Beastmaster. But if you're just continuously making sure that the Beastmaster doesn't have a good start to the game, then, you know, you've got that time. You've got the time for the PL to come online. You mentioned the... your prediction for the net worth being that 1k net worth lead that they've got at the 20 or so minute mark. Well, it's not looking too bad right now. Less than 1,000 in Polaris's favor.
I'll CML. Him actually still staying around might tip them off of a potential Observer Ward placement. UK and Hustler are both level 6. He's actually probably going to catch Polaris off guard. Boomy will pop the smoke. Mac nearby, hand in hand with Nico. They're going to run straight to the clockwork, so they won't have the hook shot to control a hero for the Mortimer Kisses. They'll just have to dump all the damage for Boomy, but Mamang Daya is in trouble. Without the ultimate for the damage buffer, it's going to be brought down. Enryu also committing into the team fight here, so Neon getting a little bit overzealous and not the execution like we saw from them in game 1.
No, for sure. That was the advantage of having that Beastmaster Hawk. It was able to spot out the movement as soon as the smoke popped as the movement through. And considering it was still nighttime at the time, UK was just a little bit too aggressive with the positioning there, getting just burst full to zero without too much impact. They have to be very careful as well about too many of these deep dives without the necessary vision, because this is against a silencer that's got the 1 point in the Glaives of Wisdom, so you've already been able to steal away a little bit of intelligence.
No, Palos. He's stuck around for a little bit too long. Mac finds the opening, and again, they find the Phantom Lancer. A completely 180 performance from Mac here on the puck. He's about to be 5-0-1. And this is a scary, scary task now to deal with, because it's a pretty free puck game, and with all this net worth lead, it's going to make it that much more difficult with these items soon to be flowing in. He's also looking to try and block off the retreat of UK, which he will do so. My lord, Mac is everywhere. It's so difficult for Neon to try and deal with. Find the connection. Mac, he doesn't have the phase shift, actually utilizing the abilities aggressively. Oh no, Mac, that's a big killing spree to be giving up there.
Dire's middle tower.
That's a big
Radiant's
objective as
bottom
well.
tower
The siege
has
creep
fallen.
was able to take out the bottom tower during all of that, so I actually didn't mind UK's positioning. He was making sure to place himself between Mamang Dire with that siege creep wave and the joining heroes there on Polaris. So the fact that, he gives up his life, you get a enemy mid laner and a tower in exchange for it, and feed more gold through to Mamang Dire, you're super happy with that.
To have these ultimates back up though from the supports. You were speaking about this combo they have together. So whenever they're available, looking to make an aggressive maneuver. The question is who can they find? I really want to see Dire try and drop some vision down by the triangle. They haven't dealt with the Templar Assassin. Something that's costing them pretty drastically considering his top of the net worth. UK.
Found him.
There's the angle. Radiant. They are coming on over. They're going to be a little bit too late to keep Nico alive, but maybe they'll get some retribution as Natsumi finds the snap fry in the back line. Instantly, and Ryu TP's out as well. So poor old UK left on his own devices. A 2-for-1 trade. Yeah, you get the Beastmaster. And well, it's giving a little bit of time for Palos to get some catch up.
I'm not sure about using the Solar Guardian to be able to secure that kill. Was maybe looking to use it as a bit of a bait for the Global Silence. Obviously, a very important teamfight tool that we've still yet to see Boomy layer out there, but it ended up securing the kill onto the Beastmaster and only ends up costing you UK. Oh, actually, they got Hustler as well, actually, so I'm not even sure how effective that's going to be, as this is a really early Roche attempt. We scouted out, though, with that Rocket Flare.
They're very far away.
I mean, no big ultimates, right? You've got the hookshot available, but that's about it. The ghost ship on Mamang Dire doesn't even look like he wants to consider connecting. This might just be you throw your position 5 at it to try and snipe it. Worst case, it's just the position 5, but they're going to get it unopposed.
Oh boy. This is not good for Neon, giving up that Aegis at such a rapid succession. At least you're able to mirror the diffusal blade timing with the Aegis, so maybe Palos can look to show up here and turn it back around, but this is now going to give Polaris a big window to start taking more objectives and more map control.
Yeah, and the map control is exactly what they need, right? Like, they already do have some aggressive placements, but always you want to make sure that you're in the vicinity to be able to try and, invade the enemy triangle if you can, to take that away from a PL who wants to be coming online in the later stages of this game. While they're going for this tier 2 tower top.
It's got a hook shot in. Hustler somehow still alive. Mac will be forced to drop the coil to get the kill, so an ultimate wasted. They still haven't caught out CML either. Somehow he's out to safety. Mamang Dire is going to look for the cleave. So nice play on the Conquer, but again, it's costing you 2 heroes.
They see Enryu up here as well.
They do.
The Hawk.
Oh, Enryu. They're gonna TP out. Natsumi's stalking through the line.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Not gonna find him just yet. Actually, if they found Palos, he's farming underneath the Observer. TA for some reason had a trap nearby, but sees the silencer in the puck and knows the coil's on cooldown, so nice awareness just to TP out.
Yeah, that's really the only thing you're worried about right now for this PL is the Puck. If Puck has his abilities on cooldown for a long period of time, you can feel safe to farm in these super aggressive areas because, unless CML's just perfect with his stuns, you're not going to get caught out. Maybe at nighttime you can look to be a little bit more careful just because he can look to sneak up on you in some way, but until you see that Blink Dagger, I feel like you can be pretty ballsy with your farming patterns here on Palace.
UK. Once again, just another death on the supports. I mean, they're up to 10 deaths here between the Snapfire and the Clockwork. Mamang Dire is going to look to try and drop the combination with the help of the Mortimer Kisses, but instantly disabled thanks to Boomy's Global Silence.
That's a much better use of it. Didn't use the Dawnbreaker ulti though, so we can see here Enryu going all the way back to base. They might look to try and make some kind of movement happen here with the Clockwork as soon as he comes back online with that hook shot, combo it together with the Solar Guardian, and try and take someone out in that way. Could they even look to go on? I would still say Nico's the prime target here, but him, Boomy, Lion, I think you're cool with all of them. So UK is actually looking to play around this bottom side of the map, walking underneath an Observer Ward, so fortunately for him, he might end up giving his life away.
Oh, UK. Great placement. Just pops the movement Palace is going to be out of there. Or is Palace coming back over?
Radiant's middle
Solar
tower
Guardian.
is under attack.
Providing the heal to keep the clockwork alive, and Max in trouble, and all but the last second gets some distance away. The hook shot on point. UK slithers that one on through. That's a huge kill to find. The fact that Neon is still yet to lose an objective once his Aegis has been claimed, and Palace is free farming across the map.
Yeah, he's doing a good job. Still, he's fallen a little bit behind the TA, but that's the freedom that the Aegis gives you. Obviously, the insane ancient taking potential as well, as Natsumi just looks to continue that trend with a minute and a half left on the Aegis there. I wonder if they'll look to make a play now that you know that the Dawnbreaker ultimate's not available, excuse me. 35 seconds until your global silence, even the puck having the Dream Coil available again. It's a question of, do you want to do it now, or do you want to wait for that Blink Dagger to be up for the puck?
And Dire just put so much emphasis though on controlling top. Like 2 observer wards, a bunch of sentries. The emphasis they look to put on to keep that tower alive, and I mean just
that smoke though. They're getting aggressive. Mac and CML both coming through, trying to pick up kills. It's not important just because of the objectives that it's going to provide you, but all of that extra gold so close to picking up the Blink Dagger for both the Lion and the Puck, which makes PL need to be so much more conservative with his farming.
Henry's just gonna try and clear the wave and get out. He won't be successful. They're still gonna TP in. Not fast enough, so T2 tower finally claimed. This will give them now an opportunity to de-ward the top jungle as well.
Oh, there we go. Blink Dagger for Mac.
Blink for
Dagger
CML.
for CML. They could take away this outpost. Not sure why they're not doing it. All right. just leave it there. But now, let's see how Palace looks to adjust his farming style here. He's going to walk underneath an observer ward very soon. Obviously, he wants to be not revealing on the map as much as possible. So the fact that they've gone for these unconventional styles of wards at this stage of the game is really good play coming through from Polaris. And you can see that's where the smoke maneuver is happening.
UK's awareness, though, once again kind of being the bodyguard to Palace, putting themselves in a more difficult position in the...
If that was daytime, they catch Palace.
No, they still will do so.
Still do.
He's close to the tower. They've got the Solar Guardian as well, so instantly flying through, but the Global Silence going to be able to cancel that. So they've clipped the backline as PL will fall. Clockwork joins him as well. A 2-for-1, but the rest of Dire looking to try and TP in. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, remaining Dire finds a solo kill, and he's got the TP as well if he wants to join bot to keep the tower alive, but it might cost him end reuse. The TP just a little bit too late. Even UK's looking to buy back as well, but Natsumi, the Mortimer Kiss, is getting laid down, so he doesn't have the refraction to play with. As a big kill, finally getting rid of the Templar Assassin, who's been a thorn in their side through the entirety of this game, and Boomy as well will drop through the western, throw through the eastern tree line.
Cost them a lot. I mean, you can understand their play, right? They've got this big power spike. They immediately smoke up. They catch out the PL. And they even use their abilities to fairly good effect, but just that turnaround potential. You know, as Hustler, as soon as you see that Global Silence go out and you haven't used your Mortimer's Kisses, you are loving life. Because other than that, it really doesn't feel like they have any way to interrupt his Mortimer's Kisses, especially with the Puck being on such low mana as he was at the time.
Nico has finally completed that Helm of the Overlord, though. How much do you feel like this is going to impact these next fights?
A decent amount, right? Like, even just the slam, being able to deal the 250 hero damage against the PL is going to do a good job at revealing which one the real one is. That on top of the Puck, very damn effective. And of course, just being able to provide that frenzy over to something like, well, himself is probably pretty damn good, but onto the TA with that Desolator can be nice too.
Again, UK. Well, perfect positioning. Popping the smoke. If they lose my main Dire as well, it's probably not the greatest. He's got BKB just in case. Now with the Roar on cooldown, he might just look to TP up. The rest of Dire slow to connect, and he's also slow to pop the BKB. Will do so at the last second. The right click starting to flurry on over. But he just makes it away.
That ROM hangover, just helping him out a little bit here. He'll still continue to take damage inside of his own fountain, but he'll be just fine. Getting into that AC as well,
Bottom
getting a
lane.
lot closer. Ooh.
Once again, Enry actually does finish off the ultimate. I mean, what Palace off to the side as well has been caught out. Doppelganger on cooldown. Enry's going to give him some positioning, but Mac and Natsumi homing in like a missile. We'll find Palace up on the high ground. There's no retreat. The Nova main dies all the way back in base so they can overwhelm Neon down bottom.
Getting some really good value here, Boomy, with that 1 point in the Glaives of Wisdom as well. He's already stolen 16 intelligence. With all the times this Clockwork is dying, I'm pretty sure he's going to find it difficult to get off even just his basic combination. You know, hook shot, power cogs, battery assault. That's what, 330? And he's only sitting at 520 mana.
Uh-oh. BKB, TP, all on cooldown. It's a beefy man. They got outposts as well, so the reinforcements coming over. Will not be able to get rid of the Mortimer Kisses, and with a combination from UK, it's enough to clean off Nico. The backline hustler. Oh, nice play. They don't scout out the Aghanim shard, so Mac getting a little bit overzealous with his positioning, but still the Conquer's the main target. But Mengdaya trying to armor toggle back to safe. There's no way. But Mengdaya, come on, my guy. What is he doing to them? These armlet toggles. Someone do something about him. My God, it is a treat to watch him play Conquer.
Ooh, had to be careful with the toggles at the end there. He had the Arcane Curse onto him, but he's going to get out scot-free. I really like the ballsy play.
I'm actually still just...
Yeah.
What just happened?
I mean, we saw in one of the previous games, people were calling him the attacker of C, so it's pretty damn understandable. Level 30, making plays like that against a TA who's honestly pretty damn farmed, but yeah, he's just putting this game on his back. He has, I believe, the AC completed now with all of that gold that he got from the participations.
Wow. I mean, it's like, you know, guys, a little bit of lag after that. I just styled on you. Just think about your mistakes. Think about next time how you can actually kill me better, because now AC is going to make it that much more difficult.
I mean, it's exactly what you need against this this TA in particular, right? Like, it's even going to do a little bit to prevent the likes of your Clockwork from going down quite so easily. We can see he's still having a rough time there on UK. He's playing a very sacrificial role this game. Obviously, just still wanting to play his role, though. Kind of like what we saw with the Wyvern last game, finishing off with 35,000 healing. This time around, unfortunately, there's no official stats that show amount of smoke ganks on your carry thwarted.
We do see some of the issues, though, with how they can utilize his abilities to full effectiveness in the team fights. I think the silence of global silence is something they really have to prevent. I mean, I guess that's down to UK and how he can find the angle in these fights, but it's also got to keep in mind, I mean, Boomy's positioning has been pretty goddamn solid.
It has, and it's going to become even more important shortly. He's only 1,400 away from being able to pick up that Aghanim Scepter. Great for the AoE last word. Being able to lock down the likes of, well, to guarantee that the PL is going to have the silence onto him is a fantastic tool. Not sure if it's like the Snapfire Scatterblast, where, you know, if it hits the real PL, it shows. I wonder if it'll be the same with like an AoE silence, that it'll only show over the real PL's head if he is actually silenced.
Radiant. You know, Roshan's up. They actually want to pick off before they head in the pit. Mengdaya. Jump is out. Let's see if this bonus armor from the AC will keep him alive. Global Silence Slayer down once again. Is bringing down ever so low, and he doesn't have a buyback to rejoin them, so a beautiful smoke from Polaris as they find two pickoffs, and into Roche they go.
There's that effectiveness, though, of the Global Silence to be able to counter out that Dawnbreaker. You know, if you don't have the silencer for this, then you're able to get that save. So many times we saw when Boom were playing it, just waiting for the very last second, and then even a support gets put into a position where he's super survivable. They're going to look to play around this Roche. I don't know if this is the right idea, Enryu. I think you can't delay the game for a full 50 seconds, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't know if Palace has a net worth as well to really take this fight. They're going to try and get rid of the refraction, the mana as well, but, I mean, Nico doesn't even damage. He's back, killing off Roshan.
They've still got this high ground control as well, so it's not even like they've got the vision advantage on Neon. Eventually, they're going to try and place it down, but UK...
Now they try and D-ward later on, but yeah, UK is just penalized for this. CML will zap him through. third charge for the Lion.
I feel like you just got to cut your losses as soon as you realize that you don't have the Conquer to play around with. You know that they're going to be constantly monitoring you. You know they have vision. So, yeah, a little bit of an odd choice there by Neon to continuously run their face into that one. And like you mentioned, Palace, he's fallen a little bit behind now. He's level 17 compared with Natsumi's level 20. See, with that meld dispelling, be very effective.
I think Dire's high ground defense is pretty solid. Oh no, Palos. Outside the base. They've still got Coil though, the max not gonna jump.
Yeah, they didn't have the Blink Dagger available on the Lion, otherwise they would have gone for that.
Yeah, I do think going high ground though is still gonna be a bit more difficult on Radiant, especially now that Palos has found the Aghanim Shard, and you kind of just poke and prod from afar. So I mean, I think it's just going to be the task of claiming all these outer towers and then maybe waiting for a pickoff or a big item to go higher ground. I'm trying to see what they're close to. Boomy's almost got Ags. In regards to the cores, they're not too close to anything else, though.
Yeah, for me, it's going to take a mistake coming through from Neon if they're going to want to push that high ground. So, I mean, they're going to get, of course, more of the tools that are going to enable them to try and do this. You've got the Helm of the Overlord, you've got a Siege Creep Wave, and you've got a Beastmaster that doesn't even need to put himself in harm's way. He can just sit back with the Blink Dagger available. He's got that Primal Roar, so if someone steps out, even just the tiniest amount, it's a risky place to be. They can see Palace TPing in. I was kind of wondering if they would go for that super deep dive, but not just yet. Didn't even realize that interaction. I knew, of course, the AC reducing the armor of enemy buildings, but the attack speed aura also benefiting the tower. I was like, he's hitting pretty fast. There's no ogre in this game.
Snake dude's going crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Radiant. And find here Enryu. Another pick off this Beastmaster advantage. Okay, that's a pretty good target. Global Silence used early on, but they will not have a Dawnbreaker to have any involvement through the team fight. Palace is caught up for a beautiful coil as well. Polaris, a completely different performance from them in this second game. And Dai is trying to do it all on his lows himself. Still a very late usage of the BKB. I mean, it's up. So we'll get out to safety. But now they're still chasing out Hustler as Nico. One more swing of the axes. A double for Nico.
Yeah, it just feels like this Dawnbreaker has not had the impact that they wanted out of it. You know, I feel like if you're going to run it as this into where you've left the silencer in the pool, it's got to be as a support.
Oh, Conker, they've caught him out. I know the BKB's on cooldown. Hustler's going to try and reposition him for stuff. He actually goes in. He tries to get the kill on Mac, but he's not fast enough. Mermaid Dyer, he too will buy back. They've got another minute 40 of the Aegis, but no Palace for this. Oh boy.
Step lively now. Your admiral is on board.
I like the fact as well, Polaris, they're recognizing, you know, the few times where they've been able to have really successful team fights is when they've been able to isolate Mamang Dyer and pick him off. You know, this is the hero that OB.Neon need to be just centering their team fights around. And it feels like if you don't have them to be there as that stable frontliner, things become a whole lot more difficult. So back going into the Dagon, wanting all of that burst damage with their pretty good lockdown that they've had so far to be able to burst him through.
I mean, the vision has almost won this game for Radiant. Hawk, TA, Observer to CML is going to use them to perfection. And Earth Spike onto 2 to start the game. They'll try and target down CML afterwards, so a 1-for-1 trade on the supports, but the backline Palace is looking to deal with Boomy as well. They'll finally kill him off. Natsumi's only got Aegis for another 40 seconds, but completely surrounded. Okay, maybe Palace is officially online. They can't lock onto Mac. Natsumi now the target. BKB still at the ready, so he'll turn to kill off or make the attempt on Mamang Dyer. He's got the BKB space on top of the backline, but it's not going to matter. Natsumi, he's so much damage now. 120 seconds on the deck. It's all up to Palace. It's going to be the Phantom Lancer show. But it doesn't seem like he has the items nor the net worth to bring them back into this game. He's trying to play around with the Juke and Jives, but they've caught out the real PL, and Natsumi and Co will bring them all down.
Again, Mamang Dyer just caught out the chain lockdown, not allowing to pop that BKB. it was enough, and just a few things, going not so well for them. Again, you called it out just before it happened, and it's the vision advantage, right? You're able to blink forward. These suicidal plays on a Lion are enabled because you're able to get the initial lockdown into the double stun, pick off the squishier targets, and then convert it.
Oh, Palos buys back.
Dire's middle tower is under
Maybe
attack.
wanting to
Another
punish
buyback on
Natsumi as he's
Enryu as well.
underneath the
Can they
tower.
get the cancel of the TP?
Nope.
Oh boy. That's a lot of buybacks forced out throughout the past couple of minutes, and that is going to put Palos further and further behind.
Great reaction from Natsumi as well, realizing they have no ways to interrupt any kind of TPs out. It's at least until PL gets into something like a basher, but as you said before, they are still lacking a whole lot of net worth for this PL. He's essentially got, 2.5 items right now. Not what you want at the 31-minute mark. Oh, man. Bit of a greedy pickup here. You can understand it now that he just wants to be constantly throwing out those Spirit Lances. But it's the PL holding onto the Psychic Headband. As a support, I am furious.
Radiant are scanning.
Well, at least they get a consolation prize across the map. Honestly, a lot of gold for Palos. Pretty much 500 there. So he's getting a little bit closer to the heart. Did Dire even buy a gem? I mean, they're so behind. They don't really have the gold to afford this.
Yeah, I mean, in UK.
But you see how they're playing, though? Like, Radiant are making sure they posture around their ward to do the best they can to try and keep them alive. Like, it's so important to, one, place really good observe wards, and two, just play around them to body and protect them.
They are going to be able to get rid of this one next to the Ancient Camp. Only had about 10 seconds left, so Polaris, they've got the full value that they wanted out of it. Even just this Hawk coming through here. It'll eventually land, I don't believe, inside the sentry range, so UK is just going to stick around, look to use the Rocket Flare to take it out. Nah, Hustler gets it instead. It just feels like these supports are just getting taken out way too easily. A few good positions from Hustler, but without that Blink Dagger needed in combination with the Aghanim Shard, it just feels like so many times the Mangdai is left on his lonesome.
Step lively now.
And Silencer in line just once again.
Dire
Just gotta kill off the
are scanning.
supports. They're doing way too much in these fights.
Very
So-
close to the heart, though, on PL. That is the silver lining. 60 gold away. Might even just look to stay in base. I'm sure he was yelling to Mamang Dyer there, who was looking to use the X Mark to try and safely farm the mid wave. Feels like, bro, I need it. I need something in this game to be able to just stand and fight.
Money changes.
Maki's starting to swing to bot. I
Find Enryu.
don't even know how you kill him. Level 25. Dagon 5-2. He's so farmed.
From my chest.
Any invis so far on Neon? Don't think so. So the Waning Rift pushback, just another one of those tools to be able to potentially snap the coil once he picks up the Aghanim Shard there on the puck. Also looking to build into the overwhelming blink again. Great way to deal with the PL. Lots of burst damage again, just for additionally the purposes of taking out Mamang Dyer as quickly as possible. They got the heart at least.
And Radiant got Roche. So, I mean, third of the game. Aegis tease, refresher shard.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And there will be no contention as Natsumi just rips it apart. Even DD at the mouth of the pit as well, so
Roshan
more than likely up the high ground they go.
Forever.
Give it over to Nico. I don't hate it. But you got a silencer here with Global Silence and Aghanim Scepter. I feel like that's a pretty effective tool to have as well. I'm even just going to use the smoke to go up to the top side. Keep that wave pushed in. Constant threat in all lanes right now.
Good luck. Not going to be an easy defense whatsoever. Radiant. Just sit behind Natsumi. Got this Hawk vision as well. Really need to get rid of it. UK. Try and do it to his best of possibilities. I mean, he's pretty much just gone from one Dagon. Hustler will not find the angle. And now UK's gone. I mean, up in 40 seconds. Got a buyback, but They're going to look to try and get Bosch pushed in as well.
Not a terrible time to take a fight right now on Neon, though. You saw the Dream Coil use Puck's revealing on the bottom side of the map. If they were to instantly go, maybe you can lock down someone like this Lion, who's providing so much control for their key heroes and doesn't have anything in the form of defensives.
It just feels like you need the clockwork to jump, though. I think that's the issue.
I mean, as soon as Puck TP's bot, you've got that, what, 10-second window where you could have done it, but they sit back, they play the patient game. Not sure if it's going to work out for him, though.
Once again, look at Max. Making so much space, jumping in, taking away pretty much half of a hero's health. I believe he did eat the cheese, but instant hex out. They've been able to catch up the real Phantom Lancer. First roll, zap down. Palace, he bought back previously. He's gone. 110 seconds, and Ryu too late to protect him. Another roar available. And Polaris, a completely different story for them. Night and day difference. Ultra kill for Natsumi, the Templar assassin, unchallenged in this game.
Dire's bottom barracks are under
Kind of feels like a repeat of what we saw last game, where you're not able to get onto the backlines, you allow the supports to cast every single spell that they could possibly want, and you get punished for it. You know, that's one of the trade-offs that you have from not having a lot of farm, is that you're a whole lot squishier, but they just never seem to use the hookshot super offensively to, you know, try and force them to be a bit more on the back foot here on Polaris' side. Can you imagine if you get the early aggression onto this this silencer, for example, is they're just going to clean it up. This is just academic, what they're going through here, but you go on him, you might be forced to panic a little bit, pop the global silence, and then suddenly after that, sure, you might lose the clockwork for it, but you've got the potential to turn around using the Dawnbreaker ultimate to hopefully turn things in your favor, but not going to be the case. They're able to get out of this one with CML only dying 6 times, Boomy dying 8 times, but the important one, Natsumi, the one that was going to end the game, just dying the once.
Yeah, I mean, we've gone through this series about and speaking a lot of emphasis on the supports. We saw Neon with Hustler and UK with what they could do in game 1, and I think the second game here from Polaris, like, yes, you take a look at the KDA, I think it's a lot more emphasis on Mac and Natsumi, but Boomy just completely took away the effect of Andrew Yu in countless of fights, and even Hustler in a couple as well. So if you're going to pick this Dawnbreaker, you've got to just ban out the silencer. It's a heavy, heavy counter, and we just saw you pretty much negate him through the entirety of this game.
Or you got to have him play, like, with you as a position 4 or 5, right? Like, you've still got some decent tools in your kit, and then try and, like, if you lose it, maybe the global silence gets popped after that. You've got the buyback to be able to rejoin the fight because it's so cheap, because you're a support. But yeah, as this offlane, I don't like it. I feel like you constantly need to be playing with your team as opposed to away from your team, which is one of the reasons that it hasn't been quite as effective when we've seen it. And then, yeah, like you mentioned, the silencer with the Dawnbreaker, it's a fantastic way to just prevent a lot of your effectiveness. And it wasn't even just that, right? The Mortimer's Kisses as well. Silencer just does away with that too.
Yeah. Yeah, without a doubt. Polaris, again, just night and day difference here from game 1 to game 2. So they're going to end up tying the series, a much needed, at least one map victory from them. As, you know, like we were saying before, the middle of the pack, it's very thick here at the moment. And next up, we're going to see more of the middle of the pack teams. We've got Enigma Galaxy taking on Yangon Galacticos. We'll take a short break with our second series around the corner.